live the life beyond the boundaries we set on ourselves, to live and to run boundless, to be inspired, to achieve, to overcome the mountaintop in our life. Embrace the journey, become boundless.
Hello, family. Welcome to the sixth episode of the Live Run Boundless podcast. So today, I have with us is the legend in the making, or after running 100 miles in under 30 hours. He probably already a legend, and then run the trail running community. So it is my pleasure to welcome the Gunny Sergeant.
Yes.
Okay, I'll make sure the Gunny Sergeant, the ultra trail runner, Mr. Enrique.
Yes.
And okay, you can have a real last name. I'll be butchering people's name.
Oh, it's fine. It's Anciso.
Anciso Jr.
There you go. Yep.
Yes. Well, before we get to the 100-mile talk, I want to talk about the journey, the process, and getting to that point we at right now. So, life growing up, how in a small town of Texas, how that shaped you as a life as an adult right now? If I say that right.
Yes. Well, I grew up in a small town called Mercedes, Texas, population of about 20,000. I grew out in a country, a lot of roads, a lot of loose gravel. So I spent a lot of my time growing up. At the age of 8 years old, my father was self-employed, and he took me and had me start cutting yards early Saturday mornings, like at 5 a.m. getting up. Mom was cooking food for me. She made the best bean and egg tacos. So she prepared us for the day, and I'd spend my Saturdays in the summer, especially in some hot sun, humidity, 100 degrees.
Yeah, I know.
But when I look back at doing that from the age of 8 years old to up until 19 when I joined the Marine Corps, I can definitely look back and see a lot of lessons that my dad was teaching me without even telling me, just through his actions and what he was having me do. And I feel like that helped prepare, it built work ethic, it instilled a passion, a desire to always, whatever I did, to do it to the best of my ability. Yes. And again, my dad never told me this, but what he was having me do was teaching me that. I made a lot of mistakes. Yes. I spent a lot of time out and about helping. And that also translated to my everyday life at home, helping my grandfather out around the ranch, doing things around the house. No one had to tell me to do anything. I had that desire to get up and be like, okay, how can I be an asset? How can I benefit the people around me? And I think growing up, knowing that I didn't have a lot of distractions, all I had was like sports, cutting yards with, spending quality time with my dad, which at the time I didn't recognize until years later, the quality time we were spending together and the memories we were able to create. It helped me just, again, focus on certain characteristics that would later on in life sustain me and help me be successful.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and how you were raised, and just the family and how you grew up definitely make a big difference, as an adult, Yeah, so that's a great story, Yeah, and just sticking with the family. So in your bio I was reading, you mentioned about how your older sister, they had you play a major part and play a major role in helping you be the man you are right now. Just having that toughness, that grit, that determination. In what way did your older sister set that example for you?
So, growing up as a kid, she just never took it easy on me. Always demanded a lot. Always pushed me.
Okay.
You know, sometimes we had some interactions and they weren't good interactions, and it wasn't your typical, you know, sibling. Like, she was tough as nails. She was tough as
Okay.
nails, and
Okay.
I feel like a lot of, you know, what she was doing was just trying to help me. I
Okay.
didn't have a brother, you know,
Okay.
growing
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
so I think she kind of took it without, you know, knowing and
Yeah.
saying anything. She's like, hey, I've got to take that responsibility
Oh, wow.
to
Wow.
prepare my brother for life, because
Wow.
not that it's any easier, you know, for
Yeah.
women, but I feel as men, it's tough,
Yeah.
you know, finding who you are. And I
Yeah.
felt like a lot of how she looked out for me, took care for me, you know, demanded certain things from me, never let me settle for just being average. You know, whether it was at a sport,
Yeah.
you know, football, basketball, running,
Yeah.
she always was the one to be like, hey, you can do this. You
That's
got
all.
it in you. You're
That's all.
different.
Yeah.
So, and I could even say, you know, now
Yeah.
my two other sisters
Yeah.
continue to feel that as well. And they're like, you know, they're appreciative, they're positive in my life. They support me, they encourage me. And I mean, without them three in my life,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be the man that I am today.
Oh, that's great. So at the time, you didn't really appreciate what your sister were doing.
No.
Well, but as you got older and you look back on it and that reflect, you're grateful. You got a sense of gratitude that your sister, your family, that they put you do that. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay then. So yeah.
I'll give you a funny story
Okay.
again.
Wait.
Just, you know, something that occurred. I remember I was about 8 years old, and we were walking to a friend's house,
Yeah.
and my sister was on my bike, and we uh, we left the house because we saw a pack of dogs start running at us. There was a lot of loose dogs where I grew up,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and it was unfortunate. My sister ran me over with the bike. There's a lot of loose gravel, so I had like rocks in my skin and stuff like that I had to get out. You know, obviously she was like, hey, this is just gonna toughen you up. You know,
Okay.
I'm there, you know, I'm crying. I'm like, man, this hurts. And she's like, hey, it's okay, you know, help me. She also, you know, demonstrated a loving, you know, caring, nurturing side.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she's like, hey, you know, it's okay. Whatever, you fell, get up, keep going, don't stop.
Okay.
And you know, just little things like that that to me stood out in my life with my older sister.
All right. Oh man, that awesome. You know, they had that support. You know, just I gotta show that tough love.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, cause you know they've been needed in that. You know, so
yep.
yeah. So y'all still have that close relationship right now, also.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. You know, from that, you know, from growing up, you know, with that support, with that, just and just really grew up having that toughness as a kid. That kind of like went over to the Marines. So 15 years right now in the Marines.
Hmm.
Could you say that how you were raised helped you to adapt to the Marine life? They make things a little bit easier. How you were raised, you know?
I think, sorry, I think it did. Again, when I joined, I was 19 years old,
Okay.
and I already had experienced, you know, again, what it meant to put in hard work.
Yes.
So when it came to, hey, I need you to do something, to me, it was never a problem. I knew I was going to accomplish whatever task was set in front of me,
Yes.
and that translated to the Marine Corps. Again, when you go through those 11 and a half weeks of boot camp, you've got a gentleman that's
Yeah.
not softly or gently talking to you. He's demanding a lot
Yeah.
at a very strong tone.
Yeah.
So, you know, I grew up already, you know, through sports, through my parents, through the way they raised me, understanding that certain things were going to be expected of me. And I was, you know, I was expected to do them to the best of my ability. So, you know, the Marine Corps just came easy. You know, I had the passion, I had the work ethic, I had the desire.
Okay.
Now I just needed somebody to guide me and show me, okay, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
I'm bringing everything to the table.
Okay. I like that.
Just just give me, direct me, guide me, and whatever you need done, I'm gonna get it done. And again, that's my dad. He never let me, if I messed up, it was never like, oh, oh, why'd you do this? No, it's like, okay, where can we get better? What can we learn from this?
That's awesome.
And guess what, son? Keep at it. Keep at it. It's gonna get better, and eventually you'll be successful. So, a lot of what I did, I feel, again, prepared me. The Marine Corps was just an easy transition. And I feel like a lot of things in life, if you have a passion, a desire, and work ethic, you're gonna get somewhere in life.
Yeah, definitely. You just got to be willing to put yourself out there, willing to like go through the struggle.
Yes. That's true.
And to really have the right support also, and have the right life. Yes, and sometimes take a little bit of that also to help guide you and direct you. Just like you say. Sometimes.
I'll tell you again, it was a team effort. I talked to my dad, but last year I was able to celebrate with my parents. They celebrated their anniversary of 38 years. And I was able to speak directly to my mom in front of everyone, and I acknowledged her because I think it's important, and just letting her know that through it all, she is also one of the most resilient women that I've had, the opportunity to have in my life, and just the pillar. I learned just as much from her. I spend more time with my dad because of work, but they both, taught me so much. So I don't want to forget about her.
Oh yeah, they definitely cannot forget about mom. That love of the mom is just like, man, oh man.
It's like no other love.
Yes, I know, man. I know. Yeah, so I think about that sometime. So yes. Even though my mom passed away, been passed away, gone for a while. Still remember the love of the mom.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So, but just gratitude, just having gratitude, have a loving family, having a great support, and having the right people around you.
It makes a difference.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. So, yeah, and just that take me to being a running community. I guess you take up running in the Marines. So you've been running before the Marines.
Yes.
But back a few years in the running community, I had learned that running means so many different things. For everyone. And everyone had their reason why in running and life. So how has running played a factor in your personal life and in your Marine life? How running been that why factor for you?
So for me, the why is, again, it goes back to gratitude. Why do I go out there? Because I'm able to do something that a lot of people aren't able to do, whether it be because of health, a disability, maybe they're struggling with depression, anxiety, things at home aren't right. So, I tell myself, like, I've struggled, with depression, and running has given me that reason to, like, you know what, God, you've given me this ability. I have 2 feet, I have 2 legs, I'm fully functional. I'm going to go out there and seize every opportunity, seize the day, and enjoy it, So to me, it's a way of just giving thanks to the man up above.
Yes, definitely.
That he gives me another day to go out there and conquer, and just enjoy life. I a lot of my times, when I'm running, which a lot of my runs are solo, I'm reflecting on everything around me. I'm taking it in, and I'm reflecting on my own life, the blessings, the gifts that I've been given, the talent that I've been given, and it's gratitude, thankfulness, day in and day out. This it didn't just start today. It's always been something that's been in.
Process.
Now I'm just able to express it in a different manner. And it's amazing, the feeling that it gives you when I get done, during the run, when you start, when you get done, it's all the same thing. I'm just like, man, like, I have a great opportunity
Yeah.
to do things that a lot of people maybe can't.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine that people, the people that desire to do what I do,
Yeah.
and it's not because I'm some phenomenal athlete. No, I'm just an average person,
Yeah.
but I'm doing something that some people, again, are unfortunately kept from doing. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a blessing.
Oh yeah, yes, I totally agree. Now, gratitude able to get out. I mean, why do my solo run sometime, and rest of the past this year, where with everybody like with the pandemic, and then we had to like stay, kind of away from one another for a little bit. To best
Hmm.
runners, I had to go my solo runs. They had to take the time to stop for a bit and reflect. Oh,
Yep.
I go to my playground, for the past few years and run up the mountains and trails up in like
Hmm.
in the Bonita area, Bonita Sweetwater. I have like so I stop for back when I reach the top of that certain hill called the Cardiac Hill, water
Hmm.
tower. I stop, look around me, and just like just grateful to be out here, to able to do what I do, So
Yep.
yeah, so definitely that gratitude,
Yep.
to able to push myself, yeah, so
Exactly.
yeah, and so, but with the running, you mentioned that you had to do a lot of short distance running before you done long distance. So how did you
Yep.
adapt to running long distance running after running short distance for a while, and what was your breakthrough moment? I guess that breakthrough where you say, "Man, I could do long distance."
Yeah. So in 2018,
Yeah.
I was going to the gym. I finally got back to a routine
Yeah, yeah,
after working 3 years in a duty where I didn't have that consistency.
yeah,
So I got into a battle rhythm and started lifting, started running.
yeah,
And again, I've always been a runner. The thing, it's never been hard. I tell people
yeah,
like I'm
yeah.
not, and not everybody has that
Yeah, no, I don't have it.
capability. Yeah. So when as I started running, I'm like, okay, to me, long distance running used to be like, hey, I'll run 8 miles, 10
Yeah,
miles. That's long. That's a long distance.
yeah, yeah.
And eventually I just started chipping away. Hey, six
Okay,
miles here. And the
okay.
consistency too. The consistency. I didn't just, oh, hey, I'm going to run 6 miles twice a week. No, it became like, 4, 5
Yeah,
times out of the week. I would give myself rest days. But eventually, while I was out there in 2018 out in the Middle East, I was able to run a half marathon. And
um,
I'm like, okay, this is, and I felt good.
yeah,
I was like, you know what, man, this isn't bad. So I kind of stuck with that, and I consistently was running around, 10, 11, 12 miles. But my breakthrough point was 2019. I had a buddy of mine reach out to me
yeah,
and he asked me, he's like, hey, would you run a marathon? This
yeah.
was May of 2019.
Okay,
And
yeah,
I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? I'll go out there. And I'm thinking he's going to tell me like, hey, you've got 4 or 5 months to prepare,
yeah,
marathon. I looked it up. I started looking at videos and he's like, no, you've got about 3 weeks, man. And I'm like, oh gosh. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I did my own running. I learned a valuable lesson immediately the next day when I went on a run,
Okay,
the
yeah.
importance of hydration and nutrition,
Oh
because
yeah.
I didn't take anything with me, Kenneth. And at about mile 17, my body started cramping up. And in my head, I'm like, no, I got to be tough,
Yeah,
never
yeah,
quit,
yeah.
persevere.
Like a David
And
Goggin tough.
yeah, and then at mile 19, my body just said, yep, we're done.
Oh snap!
And the rest of the day, I was in pain,
Oh wow! I
and
feel you, brother.
it took me a couple days, and then I did some light jogging. And
Okay,
then finally, when I did the marathon, again, my buddy told me, hey, there's going to be 8 stations, going to be all these
okay.
things. So I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So the 8 stations made it easy.
Oh yeah.
And the run was enjoyable.
Okay.
I had never ran 26.2 miles.
Wow.
So I said, hey, I'm going to run with my buddy Will,
Yeah.
and we're going to enjoy it. And man, we did so much talking. I kid you not, when we got to I think it was a mile 22 marker, we're going up the 163 north, and it's a nice little climb.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
and when at that point, I'm like, dang, we're almost done. And he's like, I know, right? And we kept a steady pace, and we finished. We finished. We both finished together. And I turned around and I told my brother, you know how much this has helped me mentally and spiritually.
Wow.
And I was very, very grateful for his friendship that he reached out to me.
That's awesome.
And that to me, when I did that, I was like, okay, you know, if I can do this, then what's the next thing? And
All right.
after that, I mean, we'll kind of talk if we can share some more moments later. But yeah, that led to the San Diego 50 miler in January of this year.
Oh man, that's a good stuff for there, you know. So you want to like challenge yourself some more. Like, man, wow, this felt great, you know. Maybe I can do some more.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, so I don't know.
It's like they say, you got to stay hungry.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know the feeling, you know. Yeah, just learning from that, you know, and that's great. And just with that, you know, and that happened all before. I guess you had met the San Diego Trail running community, right? You know.
Yes, all this happened before I met the San Diego Trail running community. If I can, so I met them to date 29 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
I was introduced to San Diego. I actually had that conversation with Daniel Smith and Mark Shim. And Mark had all the pictures, and he's like, "Hey, bro, it was 29 weeks ago." And I'm like, "Yo," and it was a 5 a.m. Run on the Claremont side with Mark and a bunch of different people. And I mean, it was I loved it. I got to talk to Daniel later, Heather Gomez as well. And they started inviting me to different things because it's not just, you know, they don't just get together on certain days. Sometimes they put events on and they invite, and it's about giving back to the community. It might be, you know, a charity or things like that. So that really drew me even more that, it's not just them like, oh, we're going to run. No, it's a community. It's about giving back.
Yes.
And that was like the hook that just drug me in. I'm like, all right, I'm in.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah.
I want to
go ahead. My bad. I apologize. You know?
No. Go ahead.
I realized that. I mean, what I'm trying to do is like it's much bigger, you know, than just running. You know, it's just really a way to aspire to uplift others. You know, in the community or wherever. You know. Yeah. So.
And that's exactly what we're doing right now. I mean, you think about what your podcast, what the meaning behind it. You know, you felt a desire in your heart, you acted on it, and now think about the lives that you're going to touch because of these conversations that you're having with, I would consider just your everyday people. I mean, there's nothing special about me, you know, but it's wanting to give back to the people around us.
Yeah, that definitely, you know, so I know I want to be here around the people that I feel like they're on God, you know, the place in my life, you know, to allow me to do this, you know. It just the running community, outside the running community, you know. I mean, I couldn't do without it, you know. So I want to be here without that.
Exactly.
You know? And so, and just give people a platform to share their story, you know, to share their life, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so. So the San Diego Trail running community is great. It's San Diego Trail runners, you know, and just everybody, the YMCA, and just the whole community is awesome to be part of, you know.
It is.
Yeah, so definitely. And so you just turned 35 years of age. You know?
This year, yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And so you had two significant moments that happened in your life, you know. So you ran 35 miles, and then you started running more out on the trail and left the road, and left the trail, the road running behind. I might say that, you know.
Yes.
It's more the trail. So what's your reason why for those decisions? You know, what fact?
Okay, so with the 35 mile run, I just wanted to celebrate life. And it was, again, April timeframe, so COVID. I wanted to go out. I even asked my boss, like, hey, is it okay? I don't want to, you know, do anything that have some effects or, you know, anyone to get in trouble. And they're like, no, man, that's physical activity. Go at it. And I planned it. I had one of my Marines. And I had a few other Marines that I worked with at one time or currently work with. And they all ran. One of them ran 20 miles. One of them ran 15. Another one ran 12. And after that, they just followed me in a vehicle, giving me help if I needed anything.
Nice.
But it was, an opportunity to just also bring people together.
Yeah, definitely.
I wanted to bring a few people together. I wanted them to enjoy. I ran from Oceanside Pier all along the Coast Highway up into Torrey Pines, La Jolla, and I ended up finishing by Belmont Park in Mission Beach.
Wow.
And I can honestly say it was such an amazing view. It was cool. The weather was good.
Oh, no, yeah.
And I had my another buddy, Abel. He rode his bike those 35 miles with me.
Yeah.
And it was just, again, a time to just be thankful. 35 years old. I'm healthy. I have a beautiful family. I have amazing friends. I couldn't complain. But around that time too, again, I had already ran the SD 50 miler, and I was planning another 50-mile run on my own here on Camp Pendleton. So I said, you know what? If I'm gonna start doing this trail running more and more, I've got to commit myself to the trails.
Yeah. That's right, to commit.
And the other thing though too is I tell people, the trails, running trails is just humbling. It's a humbling experience. just like life.
Yeah.
Not all the climbs are gonna be fun.
Oh no.
And some of them take time. When I initially started, I mean, man, climbing up some of these peaks, the Fortunas and stuff, I was like, man, this takes a lot out of you.
I know.
And that's the way life is sometimes.
Yeah.
But again, we have to sustain. Yeah. So the trail running was communicating something. Road running to me, it's like, man, it's fun. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And I like it when I can get on the road.
Yeah.
But there's something different about the trails that I feel translate and gives more to me in my life that I wanted to seek. Yeah. So that was the reason behind, kind of, hey, the road running, I'm going to go away from it. I'm going to focus on the trails more. And then the communities, again, that were there, the Run Dirty, South Bay, Ultra Buds, San Diego Trail Runners, I was drawn to them too. And again, most of my friends or people I wanted to associate with, that's what they were running. So I had to commit to them.
There you go. That's great excuse to get to start doing more trail.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell those that are listening right now, who's watching it, or the viewers, on how running connect. Well, I guess you did talk about that already. How running connect you with people in a run. I guess you got a running group that you created. I'll Run For Me. That's something you created.
Yes.
Okay.
So on Facebook, I was talking to a buddy during the month of April and talking about this. I'm like, man, I'm passionate about this. I love it. I enjoy it. I want to share with other people, because I would post, stuff on my Facebook, and some people chuckle. It's like, okay, it's another run. Hey man, good job. Good for you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, hey, I'm going to post what I care about. And then I was like, you know what, why not have because I was a part of different other running groups, but I didn't like all the content in some of those groups. And I felt like, okay, I know myself. I feel I know what I can give, hopefully, to other people around me. Mm-hmm. So I said, you know what, let me make this page. So I generated a Facebook page.
Oh, nice.
I thought about the rules. One of the rules was, it doesn't matter how fast, how slow, how short a distance, how long a distance. I just want you to run. Yeah,
just have fun.
Have fun, exactly. Enjoy it. And people. I told people the one thing that I was definitely, blown back by was the amount of people reaching out saying thank you, what running has done for them.
Yes.
And I tell people the reason behind, hey, and I also told them one of the rules was like, hey, post your run. It doesn't matter what you did. I tell people it's a great way of accountability without saying anything. You see somebody run and you're like, man, you know what? I'm going to lace up my shoes. I'm going to run a mile. If that's it, that's fine.
Okay.
Hey, you go out there, you do a mile, good for you. Yeah. And then other people see that. And, it was just a mixture of, different people were given different reasons why. Yeah. Some people sometimes I feel get so caught up in like, oh, I'm a slow runner. I can't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everybody's running journey, everybody's life journey is different. Yeah. But the thing is we're all working or we're all coming together
Yeah.
for one reason, because we enjoy this. It's the
Yes.
physical activity,
Yes.
what it brings us, and being able to share with one another. It's been awesome. And, you know, I tell people too in the group, I mean, you've got Trixie and Maggie, who are, you know, older women
Yeah. Yeah.
that, you know, Maggie consistently goes out there and just knocks out 2 miles every day. I've seen her do more. And just, I mean,
Right.
I'm like, man, at 65, at 60, whatever, you know,
Oh.
age, I hope that I can still do that.
I mean, I say the same to myself.
Yeah, you know, so, you know, my friend Trixie, she, you know, she'll run 13, 15 miles. Again,
No,
you know, as you get older, you think, well, oh, our bodies aren't going to be able
I
to.
know.
No, we'd be amazed at what we can do as long as we condition ourselves.
Yeah.
And then you've got young guys, you know, and, you know, I'm thankful too that people in there like Bonnie Axman, Matt Shield,
Okay.
that I've worked with, that Bonnie, actually, she competed in the Olympic trials marathon this last year in Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
And she gives, I mean, I love her heart.
Yeah.
I love her willingness to help people.
Yeah.
I mean, people will post stuff about aches, pains, or
Yeah.
recommendations and tips. And man, she is one of the ones that I trust. She just, hey, cause it's her background,
Okay.
and she'll go out there and she'll help people. You know, she'll post, hey, this is what I recommend. You can go to this site, or you can get this, you know, equipment. It'll help you.
Yeah.
And I tell the people, that's what it's all about. You know, we're a small community. We're about helping one another, uplifting. You know, I don't know if you've heard me share this, but I tell this with other people too. It's like, I hope that we continue to, you know, cultivate, foster, and build strong men and women.
Yes.
You know, and that we are able to give, you know, to give back to the people around us in that manner because of what running does.
Yeah.
But that running group, I love it. I go on there and post leadership, or I'll talk about running, talk about anything that I feel is beneficial to what we're doing.
Okay.
And
that's awesome. You know, yeah, you're making a difference. You know, you be a difference maker. You know,
yep.
And form your community. You know, and just continue to do it. You know, so
thank you.
Definitely. You know, go ahead and just talk about that, how running impacted your life, you know, and the life of others around you, you know. So
running. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Kip.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, running has totally, like, I've done a 180 of where, and again, a 180 in that my perspective on life has changed. Okay. The running's always been there. And I mean, I've also discovered, like, again, what I'm capable of, and it's been amazing to see how that journey has been. Yeah. But running, again, I look at life through just a different lens. Yeah. I'm able to share, you know, what I'm doing. I tell people, you know, with my kids at least, I told them 3 things. I told them, I want to show you dedication, I want to show you commitment, and I want to show you someone that's disciplined, you know. Yeah. And I hope that those things, you know, not just that, but that, you know, they see that, because I go, that's what running has done for me. Yeah. You know, it's given me a sense of purpose, and now I'm able to take what, you know, it's doing for me and connect with different people. It's you, but you mentioned this earlier, and we kind of, you know, said it. Yeah. You have to be willing to let that change happen.
Yeah.
You know, certain things can sometimes impact us, but we don't act upon it. Yeah. And for me, I mean, running has just given me a purpose. I'm a sense of gratitude, and just thankfulness for everything that it brings. You know, I've been able to do different. So here locally in San Diego too, you know, you got like Iron Mountain, you got El Cajon Mountain, you got these different areas that you can go to. And I mean, when I did them, I got up there and I'm like, God, how could you make something so beautiful? You know, the clouds. I thought, you know, sometimes when you're looking at some of these clouds, it's like, man, I can just go walk out there and be, you know, like it's beautiful.
Yes,
it's beautiful. And you know, running, hiking, it gives you that opportunity to discover new things that that maybe you didn't know, feelings, emotions that maybe you kind of closed up. It brings out, and that's definitely what it's done for me.
Yeah.
And I hope that I can give that same thing back to the people around me day in and day out.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we met to do this, meant to be out there, and
Yeah.
be outdoors, so out on the trail, so
Yep.
it's like a transformation.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah, that's awesome. Um, yeah, so and then that will lead to the more recent adventure that you or challenge that you had taken on, um, the 100 miler you just completed out on the Mission Trails. Um, but not only that, it was like crazy hot that weekend.
It was,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, so I didn't know you did. I know you had planned on that or not, but man. So what was your motivation? What inspired you to want to run 100 miles? You know, and like a loop at the loop at the loop. Until I'm not mistaken. Now,
Yes.
yes,
Um, Again, going out, it's gratitude.
yeah,
I have an opportunity to accomplish a goal of mine, and things that came to mind during that time frame. I'm a big Kobe Bryant fan.
yeah.
I love Kobe.
I'm a Lakers.
And yep. And on January 26, 2020, when he passed away, that also impacted me. And I think that's
Yeah.
something that went into my running, my reason
Oh
too.
wow.
Such an iconic figure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was that guy, oh, Kobe, and I took so much from him,
Yeah. Yeah.
from watching
Oh yeah.
him on the court. And
That grit.
I think, yeah, that grit, that determination, that competitive, just,
Yeah.
he was unrelentless.
Oh yeah.
And then I tell people too, but then you look at who he became after
Yeah.
basketball.
Yeah.
And I took so much more from the way he was a father, the way he viewed what he was doing. And here recently in July, you have an ultra runner by the name of Tommy Rivers.
Okay. Yeah.
Rivers, they run with Rivs, and seeing him battle cancer, and I tell myself, like, Lord, here I have something. I guarantee if it was him, he'd switch seats with me in a heartbeat. To be out there and doing something that he enjoys. And I keep up with his wife and the posts and all those things. My family, my kids. And I tell myself, I think of Eric Thomas, where he says a lot of us sometimes think we have a lot of opportunities, to do something, but we don't. And you've got to seize that. For me, this was it. So when we started talking about the weather with like Hector and other different people, he's like, you see how hot it's gonna be? And I'm like, inside I'm dying. And I'm like, oh, I know it's gonna be hot. But I also told myself, I've prepared myself. I was running in the heat. I was running, there was days that I would run with minimal water to just get my body used to it. Hey, what if I run out of water? Guess what? I got to be prepared for a distance, eating different things. But going out, the weather, it never deterred me from my goal. I knew what I wanted. And, I joke, but I mean it when I say, I felt like, I was Kobe Bryant stepping on the court.
Okay.
And I said, hey, I'm about to drop 100. I don't know how, but I'm going to do it.
I'll find a way, Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But that was, the meaning behind it. It wasn't for me. It was never, yes, it was a goal of mine, but it was more just to be thankful for everything, for, the examples that I've had. I reflected on my grandma who passed away, many years ago. I reflected on the time I spent with my grandpa. I reflected on time that I spent with my dad working, and, who I am today. And, on August 28th, we lost another individual my son, he's all Black Panther,
Yeah, I know.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, I know.
And I think one of the last posts that I put on my Instagram was how he mentioned, he's like, you cherish things more in life when time's against you. I know I didn't quote it right, but it's true. When the time is ticking,
Yeah.
you cherish so much. So it's like, why am I going to wait
Yeah.
to be in that situation? I got to cherish it now.
Yeah.
I've got to enjoy it now.
Yeah.
So, all those things just came together, and that was my mindset going out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. That definitely time is not on the side, best as you get older, And I realized, for me, as I get older, I realize and time go by so quickly. I tell my wife all the time is like, man, time going so quickly,
Yep.
Like, so it just to make the most of the opportunity, make the most of the time,
Yes.
Uh, yeah, make the best out of it, Yeah, so
Definitely.
yeah. So it's definitely so you are doing that, and
Yep.
just gratitude that you're able to do it, and just and you're doing it for the for a bigger cause, bigger than do something bigger than yourself,
Hmm.
So yeah, so you impact a lot of people, and
And if you don't mind, I'd like to kind of just touch on that so I can give
oh
people
yeah,
an idea.
yeah,
So I started on Saturday at 5 in the morning.
yeah,
And when I started, I pulled up and there was Carl and Cindy. Carl was going to be helping me get like
yeah,
clips of and make like a little video for me,
yeah,
which I was thankful, it's something that I'll be able to cherish. And then Cindy was there to kind of get an idea of how the day was going to go, the food and things
yeah,
like that I brought. And after talking to them, and I park and I, get some stuff, from the Jeep, and I open my door and I'm like, man, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, we're like more. And I'm like, who are all these people? And I'm thinking, oh, these are people that are trying to take advantage of the day before it gets hot.
yeah,
And before you know it, Kenneth, I'm like, there's 15 people
yeah.
out there like, hey, we're going to run with you.
That's awesome.
I had an opportunity to meet a brother by the name of A.B. Vargas.
Okay.
He's got a small little company called Chasing Endorphins.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
met him on a
yeah,
yeah, I met him on a run in Carlsbad with the crackheads with Mike Adame,
yeah, yeah,
and we instantly connected. Again, I feel like we share a lot of the same approach and perspective on life.
that's awesome.
He came out and I'm like, man, like you don't have to do this. And then he shortly after went to go run with another group. So I'm like, dude, you're awesome, man. So many people that just came out.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then for 29 hours and 44 minutes,
that's,
I had a support group at the aid station.
yeah, yeah,
Erica and Romel,
yeah,
they were
yeah.
my pillars.
Okay.
Leslie was another pillar.
Yeah, yeah,
These people were my aid station. They provided me with food,
yeah.
water. They changed my socks. Cindy changed my socks, put new shoes on.
Oh, man.
Mark Shim had a massage table out there when I
Wow.
needed it.
Oh, wow.
So they did so much for me. I couldn't, yeah, I would not be sitting here today talking about this experience if it wasn't for them.
Yeah,
I couldn't have done it. And I want to remind people, I read, Scott Jurek in one of his books called North,
yeah,
he talks about that, how, in life,
yeah,
and this was his journey, but he's like, when he got to the end of almost, finishing,
yeah,
he's like, if it wasn't for the quality of people, the rich people in his life,
yes,
there's no way you finish anything. And that's the way I looked at it.
yeah,
I wouldn't have been able to finish if not for Erica, Leslie, all these people, Ramel, Heather, Alan, Daniel, and different people stopped by at different times. I can't even tell you how many people stopped by, but I know for a fact I had at least 20 people there for 29 hours, almost 30 hours.
oh,
And they were sleeping, they were laughing. And that's the thing I think that I look back and I was able to listen is it also provided them an opportunity to talk and get to know each other, because sometimes we don't do that.
no, we don't.
And this, again, kind of this event of mine brought them together, made them converse and have conversations that they probably typically wouldn't have had.
Yeah.
So now you get to build, and kind of strengthen those relationships.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, and then I had the guys that were pacing me. I had Adrian that did 50 miles with me. That's unheard of. I mean, what kind of friend is just going to drop 50 miles?
That's a real friend here.
a lot of us have to train for that type of mileage.
I know. Yeah.
Marco, I'll never forget Marco. Marco one day on one of my training runs, he told me, because I was looking tired, and he's like, "Run with your heart."
Okay.
And I was like, man, as soon as he said that, those words resonated, and I just moved up. And And then you had Casey. Casey, man, is just an awesome dude. He's strong in his faith. I mean, he was out there. We were out there doing a Oak Canyon Trail as one of the loops that I had. It was about a 6-mile loop that we were doing. And it had to be about 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Yes.
We ended up bumping into this guy who was pale. He
Yep.
was wearing all black, and he didn't look right. And we looked at him and we stopped, and I was like, "Hey, brother, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I've been out here for 2 hours. I don't feel good." And I'm like, Casey. So Casey immediately poured out whatever water he had, filled up his water bottle, made him drink it, filled it up again. And then we continued for another quarter. And in that quarter, Casey's like, "Hey, man, I think I need to go back." And I'm like, "Yeah, brother, you need to go back. I've got my vest. I've got everything. I know how far back I need to go, and I know I'll make it." So he sprinted back. I ended up finding him. He ended up finding the guy laying under a bush, which the sun was still hitting him. Got him up. He was conscious. Everything's good. Gave him water, gave him some food. And then he took him back to the aid station. And again, the guy was there for a couple hours. And what did the people, the trail running community do? They took care of him. They fed him, make sure everything's good. Before he got back, to operate his car. "Hey, are you good?" "Yes." The guy said he was fine. He's like, "Man, I can't thank you enough." And I think of that small act and the ripple, hopefully, I hope and pray that it will create, and it'll leave with him. Like, man, there are some amazing people. But again, I had Marine buddies too. They came out from, one of them drove from like Winchester up north, Camp Pendleton. Christopher Kenley, Tim Barrientos, Adam and Tony, all those guys. And it was an amazing experience. And I tell people, every time I felt tired, I felt weak, I came back to the aid station, and instantly it was like magic. It was just fuel. You see people getting up, people, cheering you on, asking me how I'm doing, asking me what mileage I'm on, and it instantly woke me up, and I felt like I was recharged. And that's what sustained me every time, throughout the night, throughout the day, at the end. I always had somebody running with me during those hours and during the mileage. So the people, quality people in your life, I mean, like we were saying earlier, man, the people, they can take you to places that you never thought.
I know. Yeah.
So I'm thankful.
Yeah, I mean, it is something, how do running that be able to come together, and just like a family,
It is.
Over the years, just running, just, I guess having that one common thing that brings people together, it's amazing. I think about the relationship I had since I started the journey. I'm not telling my story, but after I feel my Navy way in, and I like to let them had to make a change. I hook up with a running group. My coach Tony. That about 8 years ago. Now I'm still connected with Coach Tony, even though I run with other people. But now forgive him, my Coach Tony, the relationship I built with him, and just and meet other people along the way. People I've and so it's just the connection, the unity, the love, and support, that have, and how much it's just bigger than you just out there running. It's bigger than that. It's like relationship, and just the love, and just to really pushing one another, supporting one another, and stuff like that. So
and that's exactly what the trail community is. Like I tell them, they displayed, I call it agape love, unconditional love.
Yes.
For someone, some of them, they'd only known me a month and a half.
I know.
And for them to sacrifice their weekend, all their time to make sure that I was well, like, you don't get that. And that's why I don't think people sometimes understand the power there is in great people, in love, in a simple act. Again, it's a simple act. That's a sacrifice. But I tell people, I had the easy part, running. They had the hard part. They were sacrificing their time. They were waiting for me. They were doing these things. And I made sure to let them know, like, what you all did
Yeah.
is gonna be something
Yeah.
that I hope can get out
Oh, yeah.
and people see what we're all about.
Yeah.
It's not about us. It's not about me.
Yeah.
It's about one another. And
Yeah.
what are we doing to?
Yeah.
I tell people, iron sharpens iron, and that's what you
Yeah.
did for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I told them, and I told anybody, I hope that I can go give back. And
Yeah.
like this past weekend, I was able to run with Hector's younger brother, Johnny, and he was pursuing 100K. And to me, it wasn't like, oh, this is my opportunity. This is just like, man, the way they supported me,
Yeah.
I was given that opportunity.
Yeah.
And I was able to see him finish through. And it was just awesome to see the same thing with him.
Yeah.
The grit, the determination,
Yeah.
the will to power through.
Yeah.
And that's what life's all about. We take care of each other.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they just pick each other up, no one left behind, like today, That's I learned that for another running friend, and I wanted to run with Joe Ortiz.
Yep.
He made somebody now. No one left behind when couldn't run it. No matter how slow the person is, you come back for that person.
Yep.
So, yeah, stuff like that. So awesome. That's great. And that definitely that's impactful. I guess you kind of already touched on what being part of the running this community means for you, and I see that means a lot. Yeah, the trail running community it's a family.
It is.
And for myself, I'm grateful to be part of this family of runners here in San Diego. And even outside of San Diego, just due to technology, we can see other runners throughout the world.
Yeah.
That we all kind of got a common goal, rather here in San Diego or the other places around the world. And the running community, the trail running community or the running community is a big family, and just take your time to reflect, what being part of this community, what it means to you overall, being part of this running community,
To be part of this running community,
yeah.
To me, it's so much more than what I could have asked for. And I tell Daniel Smith that all the time. I call him the Godfather, or also, I call him Jefe, my dad. I go, you're my trail running dad.
That's awesome.
And I mean, the conversations and the SD trail runners, how they welcome people. Yeah. What I love is that, again, they welcome everybody. They don't care how fast, how slow. Yeah. It's not about just running.
Yeah.
It's about, helping each other grow. Hey, it's like the way I see SD trail runners is like, hey, if you want to come out, you come out and we'll help you. If you want to walk, we'll walk. Yeah. There's groups, so it's like you got the fast guys and that's fine. And I've even seen some of the fast guys slow down and come back and help other runners out.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I'm drawn to is that I tell Marco, Adrian, Cassandra, Daniel, Heather, and all them, is that the one thing I noticed from the group is the constant encouragement, the uplifting. Erica, all of them. It doesn't stop, and they're not doing it because I have to. No, they're doing it because they want to see you grow. Yeah. They want to see you push your limits. They want to see you challenge yourself. And that's all the groups. It's not. I run with SC Trail Runners, and that's where my heart's at. But I've seen that with the South. With Giselle and Carl, the community. They're all like that. They're all like that. It's not about them. Yeah. It's not about running. It's deeper than that. And I think that's one thing people need to understand. It's that take the running out of it. Okay. You have an opportunity to build relationships with like-minded individuals, that want to see you grow, become resilient, and just propel you to new heights like they've done with me.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's great to hear, Yes. And it definitely means so much more. So coming down to the end, but I got a feeling I want to finish off with this. The last question. This is the Live Run the Boundless podcast, and yes. so boundless is the key word. So what boundless? What does it mean to you? What's like your boundless? What's like the motivation factor? What your boundless stop? In a few words, what does it mean to you? How did that?
To me,
Yeah.
boundless.
Yes.
What comes to mind is to just trust the process.
Trust the process.
Whatever it is that you're going through,
All right. All right.
whatever you're enduring,
Yeah.
guess what? You're eventually gonna get to a point where you're gonna be able to, get up and like go forward.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I tell people, like, we get so caught up in living in the, well, I'm working towards this goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to me, to be boundless, it's like you're taking everything in. You're soaking it all up, so that when you do get to the top, you're propelled.
Yeah.
You're sent to a greater height.
Okay.
And you gotta learn to love it. You gotta learn to love it. You gotta learn to trust it, and know that what you're doing is gonna give you an opportunity to live boundless.
Okay.
There's nothing to hold you back.
Okay, well, I love it. That's great. Yeah, you gotta trust the process. You gotta trust where you at. Even though oh man, I want to do more. I want to be stuck here, but just trust the process, and believe that your time will come. Yeah. So I want to but thank you for that. Thank you for this interview, Enrique. Just for taking the time to join me, on this interview at the podcast, Live Run Boundless. And just thank you for your service, in the Marines, and you just serve the country,
Thank you.
And
can I say, sorry to interrupt, can I say one last, when you get done, can I say one last thing?
Yes. Okay. I'm about to say that. In the last word that you want to share with those that are listening, watching this, the viewers.
First off, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to make time to listen to me and for me to be able to share my story. I hope that I can inspire someone, and that they can, again, approach life and think about it, like you said, boundless. There's nothing holding you back. And one thing I've always enjoyed is, plant seeds you'll never see grow. I hope that I can plant a seed in different people's lives, and that we as a community can water it and see it grow. But what you're doing, brother, is amazing, and you're giving back, and that's where my heart is at. And anything I can do to help continue to sustain that. The people are what makes a change.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to do that. And lastly, I got two people. Christopher Kenley got me into trail running.
Okay.
And he's a sergeant major up here on Pendleton that I got to meet while working as a drill instructor.
Oh, nice.
If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I am today. And he's continued to fuel my passion through encouragement, through uplifting. I mean, he makes me believe in myself. Sometimes I'm like, I don't even know what you see, sergeant major. But he's that type of friend.
Okay.
He's not only a leader, but a brother, a friend. And Daniel Smith for welcoming me. Godfather of trails, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your friendship and just everything that he's done. And then lastly, I want to thank Hector Rodriguez. You already interviewed him.
Yes, I did.
But Hector and I got to know him on Instagram.
Okay.
The guy showed up, supported me my first attempt. And since then, we continue to encourage, we continue to see each other grow. And to me, that's one of my mentors when it comes to trail running or just any running. He's given me the everything that I need. So find somebody. I hope that people find somebody like that shares. I mean, what connected us was just our passion, Ken. That was it. And it instantly. So those three guys, and my father, of course, and my mother. But again, thank you for the opportunity. I'm very humbled and honored that I could share my story with you and whoever else watches this.
Yeah, definitely. I'm in gratitude that that you're willing to share your story with me. I mean, it's always in gratitude. So yes, it's definitely. So I'm glad we had this opportunity to hook up like this, and hopefully see each other down the road.
Oh, definitely.
On the trails. And also, I'd like to thank the family who are going to be watching this, or will be watching this for joining me for another episode of Live Run Boundless. Live a life, beyond the boundary that you set on yourself. So I'll see everyone next time.